Libra, my dear soul, sit down for a moment and listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you may shake you to your core. This is not a coincidence, and it is not just another horoscope video. This is a divine appointment, a moment written into your timeline, where the universe is pressing pause on everything else just so you can hear these words. The truth is, a shocking revelation is coming, and it is not the kind of shock that destroys you, it is the kind that sets you free. For too long, you have carried the weight of balance, trying to keep the peace, trying to satisfy everyone around you. But here is the revelation: the person you once were no longer matches the person you are becoming. Can you feel it? That subtle unease, that gentle yet undeniable pressure pushing at the edges of your soul? That is the universe whispering, telling you that the mask you have been wearing is about to fall, and the authentic you is finally ready to step forward. So let me ask you directly, how many times have you silenced yourself just to avoid conflict? How many times have you played the role of harmony keeper, even when it suffocated your own truth? You know exactly what I am talking about, because deep down, you can feel the cracks forming. And those cracks are not weakness, they are light breaking through. I want you to do something powerful right now. In the comments, write these words: I am ready to see the truth that sets me free. By writing it, you are not just leaving a comment, you are planting a seed of intention in the fertile ground of your destiny. And if you want to go deeper, share one word that describes the kind of freedom your soul longs for. This is more than interaction. This is an energetic agreement between your spirit and the universe that you are ready to step into your authentic path. And let me pause here, Libra, to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up not just for this channel, but for yourself. Every like, every share, every comment, every subscription, each one weaves you closer into the family of Zodiac Whisper Tarot. Your support does not go unnoticed. It fuels this channel, it allows me to continue bringing these transformative messages into your life, and it reminds me that people like you are ready for truth, healing, and rebirth. But I need to tell you this, Libra. What the universe is about to reveal between August 16th and August 18th is truly extraordinary. This is not just about external events. This is about your soul waking up, about you realizing that compromise is not the same as peace, and that silence is not the same as harmony. You are being called into a new chapter where you will no longer betray yourself for the sake of appearances. Think about it this way: every time you swallowed your words, every time you hid your feelings, you thought you were keeping balance. But what you were really doing was building a prison made of glass. And now, the glass is cracking. On the other side is not destruction, but a garden, vibrant and alive, waiting for you to step into it. So stay with me, Libra. Do not click away. Because in the next moments, we are going to go deeper into what this cosmic shock really means for your love, your career, your health, and your relationships. Trust me, you will want to hear this until the very last word, because once you understand what the universe is showing you, nothing in your life will look the same again. There are times in life, dear Libra, when what you call balance is not balance at all but a fragile performance, a glittering mask you have learned to wear so that no one sees you're trembling beneath it. You have often mistaken silence for peace, thinking that if you hold your tongue, if you bend just a little more, harmony will be preserved. Yet deep inside you know that what looks like harmony is sometimes only a cage, decorated beautifully on the outside, but quietly suffocating within. The energy of this moment in your journey is showing you the cracks in that mask, the places where light is breaking through, urging you to finally breathe freely. You may feel it now more than ever, the discomfort of pretending, the strain of holding your world together with invisible threads of compromise. This is not weakness, Libra. This is your soul pressing against the walls of its old limitations. The veneration of balance, the fear of rocking the boat, has shaped so much of your story. But here is the truth: balance that comes at the expense of your authenticity is not balance at all, it is bondage. True balance arises not from pleasing everyone but from aligning with the voice of your own heart, even when that voice causes disruption. When you reflect on how many times you have hidden your feelings for the sake of peace, you may begin to see a pattern. Every swallowed word, every suppressed need, was like another brick added to the walls around your spirit. Now those walls are crumbling, and though it feels unsettling, this is grace in motion. The crumbling is not punishment, it is liberation. The Spirit reminds us gently that the truth, even when it shakes the ground beneath us, is the very thing that sets us free. Freedom is never found in denial, it is born the moment you allow yourself to say, "This is who I am, and this is what I need." Imagine for a moment someone who lived their whole life trying to keep their family happy, keeping secrets to avoid conflict, choosing silence rather than risk anger. They prayed quietly for strength but never spoke of their own needs. One day, when the pressure grew too heavy, they finally whispered their truth, and to their surprise, instead of rejection, they found relief. Doors opened, relationships realigned, and a peace they had only dreamed of entered their lives. What looked like risk turned out to be rescue. This is what happens when you trust that speaking truth, however fragile your voice may feel, is safer than the strongest silence. In your own life, Libra, you are invited now to practice this. Not in grand gestures at first, but in gentle steps that release the pressure you have carried for years. Take a journal tonight and write down 3 truths you are afraid to say aloud. Do not edit them, do not soften them, just let them live on the page. This act alone is healing, because you acknowledge that your voice matters. Tomorrow, you may choose to share one of them with someone close to you, or you may simply keep them for your eyes, but the very act of bringing them into light dissolves their power to imprison you. Balance, as you have always sought it, has often meant denying yourself. But balance as the universe intends for you means honoring both yourself and others, not sacrificing one for the other. There is divine wisdom in this shift. The courage to speak your truth is not about creating division, it is about creating honesty. And from honesty flows the kind of harmony that is real, lasting, and nourishing to your soul. So as you sit with this moment, remember, the mask can glitter, but it can also strangle. Your task now is not to polish it further but to lay it down. You are being asked to believe that your true face is more radiant than any mask you have ever worn. And when you let that face be seen, when you risk being real, you will discover that the balance you longed for was waiting, all along, on the other side of your own truth. Love, dear Libra, is asking more of you now than it ever has before. It is not asking for perfection, nor for another carefully orchestrated act of keeping the peace. It is asking for truth, raw, unpolished, sometimes trembling truth that can no longer be hidden behind the facade of compromise. This is the season where you must ask yourself, not whether love exists in your life, but whether the love you are giving and receiving is in alignment with who you are becoming. The distance you may feel with your partner is not necessarily the absence of affection, it is often the absence of resonance, the quiet ache of realizing that you are growing and your relationship must grow with you or it will hold you back. When two souls stand together and dare to speak honestly, love can be reborn in ways you never imagined. A conversation, terrifying as it may seem, has the power to open a door that both of you had forgotten existed. Suddenly the air feels lighter, the intimacy deeper, the connection stronger because it is no longer built on silence but on honesty. Yet there will be other times when the same courage reveals that paths are diverging, that what once brought comfort now only constrains. This too is love. To release with kindness, to let go with respect, is not failure but a profound act of faith in your own worth and in the greater design of your life. And if you are walking alone right now, do not mistake solitude for emptiness. The Ace of Cups is present, whispering of new beginnings, but its message is clear. Before you can truly welcome someone into your heart, you must fall deeply in love with yourself. Imagine for a moment planting a garden. If you fill the soil with plastic flowers, it may look beautiful for a season, but it will never attract the life, the bees, the butterflies, the growth that real blossoms bring. In the same way, if you offer only a version of yourself designed to please or to appear perfect, you will attract only temporary companionship. But when you sow the seeds of authenticity, your real laughter, your real fears, your real dreams, you will call forth a partner who is drawn not to the illusion but to the living, breathing truth of who you are. There are people who spend years in relationships where their needs are whispered only in journals, never in conversations. They smile, they serve, they try endlessly to be agreeable, but at night their hearts echo with silence. Then one day, perhaps after much prayer or reflection, they dare to speak their truth. This is who I am, this is what I need. And suddenly, everything shifts. Sometimes the relationship transforms into something radiant and new. Other times, it ends, but with it ends the cycle of self-betrayal. Either way, truth becomes the seed of freedom. I want you to pause and consider your own journey. What is one truth about your heart that you have been afraid to say aloud? Write it down. Whisper it to yourself. Or if you feel bold, share a single word in the comments that captures the essence of the love your soul longs for. By naming it, you begin to summon it. By declaring it, you signal to the universe that you are no longer content with shallow reflections. You are ready for the depth of a love that sees and honors the whole of you. Remember this, real love never asks you to shrink, to dim your light, or to betray your essence. Real love amplifies your light, makes you more of yourself, not less. It will sometimes shake you, challenge you, and stretch you, but it will never suffocate you. This is the invitation before you now to release the false flowers, to risk planting seeds of truth, and to trust that what grows from them will be worth every ounce of courage it takes. And in that trust, Libra, you will find not just romance, but a sacred partnership that mirrors the wholeness of your soul. Work and money, Libra, have always carried layers of meaning for you. You are ruled by the scales, and so much of your identity is tied to creating fairness, stability, and harmony in the world around you. Yet there comes a time when the balance you are holding begins to feel less like harmony and more like a burden, as if you are carrying weights that were never meant to be yours. This is the moment when the energy of justice, your own archetype, knocks on the door of your career and financial life, asking you to face what is real. It is a karmic return, not in the sense of punishment, but in the form of a mirror. Are you working in alignment with your soul, or are you simply performing a role that looks acceptable to others? When you think of your daily work, imagine it as a bridge. A bridge is meant to be strong enough to carry you into the future, but if its foundation is patched with rotting wood, no amount of surface repair will keep it standing. Libra, many of you have been walking across a bridge built more on obligation than on passion, and though it has held you for a while, you know in your heart that it cannot sustain you forever. The cracks are not there to frighten you, they are there to remind you that you deserve to rebuild with bricks of authenticity, with material that reflects your true calling. Only then can the bridge carry you to a place where fulfillment and prosperity coexist. The presence of magician energy with justice tells us something important. Opportunity will come, but not because you chase it desperately. It will appear because you begin to vibrate differently, because you stop sending signals of fear, I must play safe or I will not survive, and instead send signals of readiness, I am here to thrive. This shift is subtle but powerful, and it is what creates the kind of unexpected offers, sudden openings, or surprising financial blessings that can change your path. But it does not begin outside of you. It begins with the courage to say, this work I am doing, does it reflect my essence, or am I performing just to satisfy expectations? There is a practical way to explore this without tearing your world apart overnight. Take a close look at your income streams. Separate them in your mind into two categories: the safe money that comes from obligation, and the soul money that arises when you express your talents, creativity, or deepest values. For some of you, the second category may be very small right now, almost hidden. But acknowledge it, honor it, and then make a small commitment. Within the next 3 days, choose one action that nurtures that side. Maybe it is pitching an idea you have been afraid to voice, learning a skill you have always wanted, or starting a side project that lights you up. The universe rarely demands grand leaps right away. It responds to steady, intentional steps that prove you are serious about aligning your outer world with your inner truth. Think of the stories you may have heard about people who dared to leave behind work that pleased their families but drained their spirits. Often, it is only when they trusted their own gifts that a new door opened, sometimes doubling their income, sometimes leading them to opportunities they never imagined. These moments may look miraculous, but they are simply the natural response of life to someone living in alignment. What feels like divine intervention is often the result of a heart finally daring to stand where it truly belongs. Libra, the question is not whether you will continue to work hard. You are one of the most diligent signs of the zodiac. The question is whether that hard work will now be poured into soil that can actually grow something worth having. Justice is reminding you that compromise without authenticity will eventually collapse, but effort rooted in truth will bear fruit that lasts. This is your time to choose the material you will build with: fear and obligation, or passion and truth. And once you begin to choose the latter, you will see not just financial shifts but a transformation in your sense of purpose, dignity, and freedom. It is often said that the body never lies, and for Libra this truth rings louder now than ever before. While your mind has been trained to reason, to smooth the edges of conflict, to create harmony even in storms, your body has been quietly storing the emotions you have refused to name. Each unspoken thought, each suppressed feeling, leaves a trace. The headaches that come unexpectedly, the tightness in your shoulders, the fatigue that lingers even after sleep, all of these are not random inconveniences but signals, gentle alarms from within, telling you that you can no longer hide from yourself. Think of your body as a sacred temple. Many times you have cared for the surface, presenting yourself to the world with grace, politeness, and poise. Yet what happens when the foundation of a temple begins to crack? No amount of paint or decoration can keep it from collapsing. This is the moment when Libra must stop polishing the exterior long enough to pay attention to the foundation. That foundation is your emotional truth, and your body is faithfully revealing where it has been ignored. Stress, anxiety, and tension do not disappear because you will them away. They shift, they move, they lodge themselves in the muscles of your neck, in the small of your back, in the rhythm of your breathing. Every time you told yourself to stay calm for the sake of others, your body took that unrest and stored it. Now it is speaking, and it is asking you to finally listen. There is nothing weak about resting. There is nothing selfish about admitting that you, too, need care. In fact, the greatest act of strength you can show in this season is to stop carrying what was never yours to bear. The path to healing does not require drastic reinvention. Sometimes it begins with the smallest rituals. 5 minutes of deep breathing, morning and night, can create space where chaos once lived. A short walk outside can remind you that life moves at a pace gentler than your own thoughts. The foods you choose can nourish not only your body but also your mood. Magnesium-rich greens, seeds, and nuts can help dissolve the tension you have carried for months. These are not small changes. They are acts of reclaiming your well-being, moments when you declare to yourself that your health is as sacred as your responsibilities. Consider the image of someone who spent years as the peacekeeper in their family. They smiled, comforted, absorbed every storm around them. Outwardly they seemed strong, but their body began to tell another story: exhaustion, illness, chronic pain. It was only when they allowed themselves to step back, to rest without guilt, that their body began to recover. They discovered that when they stopped pretending to be endlessly strong, healing flowed in like fresh air. What seemed impossible became possible the moment they allowed honesty to replace performance. Libra, this is the invitation before you now. To step away from the role of eternal balance keeper, and to allow your body the gift of honesty. When you feel the ache in your shoulders, ask, whose burden am I carrying? When your stomach knots, ask, what truth am I resisting? Each symptom is not an enemy to fight but a messenger to heed. The more you honor these messages, the lighter you will feel. Healing does not come from ignoring discomfort but from embracing it as guidance. You are not defined by how much you can endure. You are defined by how much light you allow to flow through you when you finally let go. The truth is, when you remove the mask of being fine, your body will thank you. It will release what it has been holding. And slowly, as you return to yourself, you will find strength not in how tightly you hold everything together, but in how deeply you allow yourself to rest, to breathe, and to simply be. So much of your story, Libra, has been shaped by the way you step in to soothe others, to calm storms, and to keep fragile threads of connection from breaking. You are the sign of balance, and in many ways, this has been your gift. Families lean on you. Friends turn to you. Communities trust you to bring fairness where it seems impossible. Yet hidden inside that gift is a heavy cost. The role of peacemaker has often asked you to put aside your own voice, to swallow your truth so that others remain comfortable. Over time, that silence becomes its own prison, and the soul begins to ache for release. Right now, the energy pressing in on you is not gentle, it is demanding. The days ahead are not about avoiding difficult conversations but about stepping directly into them with clarity and courage. You may be asked to say something your family does not want to hear, or to decline a responsibility that has been handed to you again and again simply because Libra will manage. You know these patterns well. They feel familiar, but they no longer serve you. The universe is showing you that harmony built on silence is fragile and false, while harmony built on truth has the strength to last for generations. There is something powerful about this moment for you, because what you are doing is not just for yourself. Justice, the card that echoes your sign, is showing that your courage to speak and to set boundaries creates ripples. You are not only healing your own weariness, you are modeling to others, your children, siblings, or community, that it is possible to live without carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations. Sometimes we underestimate how deeply silence travels through a family line. When one person always hides pain for the sake of peace, the next generation learns to do the same. And then the next. By daring to break the pattern, by daring to say, "This is what I feel, this is what I need," you begin to rewrite that story. Think of someone who once believed they had no choice but to hold the family together at all costs. They covered for others, carried burdens that were never theirs, and smiled while their heart grew tired. And then, in one honest moment, they finally said no. They finally admitted they were not okay. At first, it caused shock. But then, slowly, a shift happened. Family members began to open up, too. The silence cracked, and in its place, real conversations were born. That single act of truth became a kind of miracle, reshaping the way love was expressed in that family forever. For you, Libra, this is not about harshness or rebellion. It is about speaking truth with compassion, about embodying the kind of love that is honest rather than performative. True connection does not come from hiding your feelings. It comes when you are brave enough to show them, and when others can meet you in that honesty. This is why I ask you, have you ever kept silent simply to avoid conflict? If you have, you are not alone. Share that experience, even with one word, in the comments below. By voicing it, you release it. And by sharing, you remind yourself and others that this journey toward truth is one we are walking together. What is unfolding now is bigger than the discomfort of a single conversation. It is a generational shift. The same way cracks in a wall allow light to enter a darkened room, your willingness to break silence allows love, authenticity, and healing to flow into spaces where they have long been absent. It takes courage, yes. But you are not just doing this for yourself. You are opening a door for those who come after you to live freer, lighter, and more true to themselves. And that, Libra, may be the greatest gift you ever give. Libra, as we reach the end of this journey together, I want you to take a deep breath and recognize how much has already shifted simply by allowing yourself to listen. Everything we have explored, your love, your work, your health, your family, are not separate stories, but mirrors reflecting one single truth. You are in the midst of a profound inner revolution. The shock you feel does not come from outside circumstances. It comes from within you, from the moment you finally choose to see what has been hidden for so long. That moment of recognition is powerful, because it marks the exact point where transformation begins. Picture the mask you have worn for years, the one that kept you safe, the one that kept the peace. Now imagine it falling away, gently but irreversibly, and beneath it emerges not a void but a flourishing garden. In that garden, light pours through every leaf, every blossom, every blade of grass. That is you, Libra. Not the version of you that shrinks to fit into others' expectations, but the real you, alive, radiant, honest, and free. This is the image I want you to carry forward, a garden that needs no disguise, a place where truth and beauty are the same thing. I want you to ask yourself now, what would it look like if I lived tomorrow without the mask? What words would I speak if I stopped swallowing my truth? What choices would I make if I trusted that my soul's needs matter as much as anyone else's? These are not hypothetical questions. They are the invitations that your life is offering you right now. The universe, in its perfect timing, has set before you this opportunity to rewrite the story, and the only thing required is your willingness to step into it. You may feel fear, but remember this: fear often signals that you are on the edge of something holy, something transformative. Fear does not mean you are wrong. It means you are about to cross a threshold into freedom. And on the other side of that threshold is not chaos but clarity, not loss but gain, not rejection but deeper belonging. Believe that God and the universe are not asking you to tear down your life for no reason. They are guiding you into a new horizon, one where the balance you create comes not from silence, but from truth, not from pleasing, but from living fully. As you take these lessons into your daily life, try something simple yet powerful. Write down one area of your life where you have been wearing a mask. Then, next to it, write one small step you can take this week to be more authentic in that space. It does not have to be dramatic. It might be telling someone you trust how you truly feel. It might be saying no to something that drains you. It might be resting when you are tired instead of pushing through. Each step is a seed planted in the soil of your new garden. With time, those seeds will grow into the life you have been longing for. I want to pause here and express my deepest gratitude for you. Thank you for being present in this space, for opening your heart to these words, for choosing to listen not just with your ears but with your soul. Every like, every comment, every share, and every subscription is not just support for this channel. Zodiac Whisper Tarot is also a declaration that you are part of this community of awakening souls. Your presence here matters. It allows me to continue sharing these messages and allows us, together, to expand the ripple of truth and healing into the world. So I encourage you now, if this message has resonated with you, if you feel the stirrings of that inner revolution, let your voice be heard. Comment below the words, "I am ready to live my truth." Write it boldly, not only as a way to connect with this community, but as a promise to yourself. Stay with us, subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, because the journey is far from over, and the universe still has more to reveal. Libra, believe with all your heart, after the tremor comes the steady ground, after the mask comes the true face, and after this shock comes the breathtaking freedom of a new life.